good morning to you. This is Kakaaki Social. I'm Rena Obozeghie. Welcome to Wednesday's edition. Now, the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, and the Trade Union Congress, TUC, have agreed to begin a nationwide shutdown Tuesday, October 3rd. The two labor centers' reason is that the federal government has completely failed to meet the yearnings of workers and by extension that of Nigerians. In a communique at the end of their separate national executive meetings, the labor leaders say the action is shifted to Tuesday to allow the celebration of independence.
The government has continued to demonstrate not just an unwillingness to mitigate the massive hardship in the country, but also a complete lack of intention to take positive steps and empathy for the multidimensionally impoverished citizens of Nigeria. The grace periods given by the two labor centers have expired.
NLC and TUC NEC in section resolved as follows: to embark on an indefinite and total shutdown of the nation beginning on 0 hours, Tuesday, the 3rd day of October 2023. 3, to direct all workers in Nigeria to withdraw their services from their respective workplaces commencing from the 3rd of October 2023, to organize street protests and rally until government responds positively to our demands.
All right, in reaction to this, that proud Igbo boy says, seems first cash don't finish. And for Lexicom, it says, joke of a union, let them go and sleep. Before 3rd October now, we would hear Labour and federal government in 22 hours closed-door meeting, ends in deadlock, negotiation to continue. For Jacob, it says Nigerians should ask Joe Ajero, NLC and TUC executives how they intend to mitigate the impact of fuel subsidy removal on workers from the monthly union dues they collect from Nigerian workers. Enough of this hypocrisy. Finally, Yahaya says 100% behind you till the government takes right decisions on making life to be easier for common man. Well, I don't know if the NLC missed it in any way or what they can do better, but their rating on the social media can actually be better with deliberate actions. But away from that, the presidential candidate of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, in the 2023 election, Adewale Adebayo, has described the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, as the headquarters of fraud in Nigeria. Adebayo was speaking at an online interaction forum where he also wondered how anyone could trust INEC to conduct a credible election when you cannot go to them to register a political party or file report or invite them to party conventions without inducing them with money. Speaking further on why he didn't challenge the outcome of the presidential election in court, the SDP candidate said that it would have been a waste of time and resources as not every wrong can be remedied by a court. Well, let's have partly what he said at that interaction yesterday. He says INEC is the headquarters of fraud. The world hasn't had more than 9 people like Zig, that's Nnamdi Azikiwe, and he says yet he couldn't win election to become president of Nigeria. Let's see, because particularly this, he has been on the other side that, okay, we can move on, the election was fine, and that's why he said he didn't challenge it. But coming to say, to suddenly be on the other side of the table, we don't know. So that this user, Chinedu, says he can't be far from the truth. Imagine an organization that does double standard. Upon all the amount given to them, they couldn't conduct a free and fair election. Bamidele says, as much as I agree with this, the messenger should take the back seat. Also in reaction, Chini Benedict says, I thought this guy was all over the TV saying that the election was good, that we should move on. Now that he missed out in appointment in the government, he's changing mouth. Another user, Ikechiku, says it seems it has become clear that appointment is no longer available for him. He's removing some bits of corn from his pockets. If you're on the social media, you would know what corn means, but can I teach you for free? Let's leave it at that. So another story, a Facebook user, Chioma Egodi, who was arrested for reviewing that the brand of tomato paste she bought was pink and sugary, has been released. She had taken to the social media space to share the review, asking her followers who have also used the brand to send in their thoughts. Now, this was what she posted on Facebook about some days ago. If you could just juggle it a bit just so that we can have it. But she was saying that she got it, it was sugary, and then she didn't know what to do and people should send in review. But then she was arrested, and because that didn't meet the brand well, who claimed defamation and the marketing of their product. But then she's been released yesterday, and according to the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission and Competition and Sorry, I take that again. The Chief Executive Officer of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, Babatunde Irukera, announced her release on bail yesterday on the social media. But the brand is insisting that it was the police decision to arrest her and not theirs, as they only wrote to the police for urgent intervention in stopping an organized criminal syndicate faking their product with claims that cannot be proven. They maintain that they would take all necessary actions against any malicious attack on their hard-earned reputation. So that was it on the space of social media for about a week. Now let's have some reactions to this story. For True African, it says, a company that cannot effectively address negative reviews should consider improving its customer service. It's unrealistic to expect only positive feedback all the time. Additionally, it's surprising that Nigeria police would arrest a citizen for providing an honest review and seeking others' opinions on a product. Also in reaction, Mood Obedient says it was never an allegation but an opinion which she shared as review. Also, having a NAFDAC registration and approval had nothing to do with individual taste board. Well, she's been released, and Erisco needs to compensate her also for the emotional damage. More reactions coming from this user. It says, I wonder the kind of PR people they have in this company to cause a potential customer who makes a personal observation of your services to be locked up so long is really unprofessional. To say the least, you should be trying to convince that customer and others of your good product. For another user, Guy Amadi, it says people should be careful how they write against companies' product and services because it takes years to build a reputable brand and nobody will allow a single review to destroy their years of hard work. They will arrest and prosecute if no proof is given. And he says, hope others learn. But reacting to him is Olamide, who says that is why companies have marketing departments and PR departments. It is not my business to help you maintain your image. If I feel negatively about your product, I will write negative reviews. It's that simple. If you can't take customer reviews, don't make consumer goods and services. And to our final story, the UK wants asylum seekers to know that being gay or a woman is not a sufficient reason to claim protection in their country. The UK Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, made the comments while she was speaking on the widespread crisis of migrants and answering whether or not the United Nations Refugee Convention is fit for modern age.
Members of the public would recognise those fleeing a real risk of death, torture, oppression or violence as being in need of protection. However, as case law has developed, what we have seen in practice is an interpretive shift away from persecution in favour of something more akin to a definition of discrimination. Let me be clear, there are vast swathes of the world where it is extremely difficult to be gay or to be a woman. Where individuals are being persecuted, it is right that we offer sanctuary. But we will not be able to sustain an asylum system if, in effect, simply being gay or a woman or fearful of discrimination in your country of origin is sufficient to qualify for protection.
All right, let's have some reaction to this. From Daddy Car, it says, population of gays from Africa just halved. Well, Special Esther says, this format where they plan to use now don't cast. Also in reaction, Freedom says, you preach LGBTQYZ, okay, to people and successfully converted them. Now you don't want to receive them as your new convert. You are all confused in that UK. And final reaction coming in from Kelechuku says, these are those hypocritical Westerns going around the world promoting gay, imposing on African countries. Africans, wake up. Well, someone was asking if you were still lesbian, if you are still gay, or if you really, really want to travel, or how come you chose your gender. Well, that's everything on Kakaaki Social this morning. Thank you so much for being a part of it. The show would return with Unkoli and our guests.
Onoshiorena. Of course, I would have loved that teaching on corn, you know, on the social media space and what it's all about. But then... Well,